Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grumboys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle.
That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest episodes when in the air. Why do we do it like this? Well, an entity known as Wheel of Random has trapped us and cursed us to only watch those episodes in such a manner because plenty of other podcasts out there have discussed the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10. So we're out here in the internet land trying to find if newer episodes of The Simpsons can match the older ones. I say we because I'm just one annoyed grump boy named Craig, and with me, as always, is our other annoyed grump boy,
Steve. Hello, Craig. How's it going this week?
Steve. It's going well. As you may know, we've had some complaints sometimes in the podcast because good old engineer Milo, or what's your kid's name, Rudy?
Yeah, Milo and Rudy.
When I mean kids, I mean pussy, cats.
Yeah.
They like to talk a lot like that. But Steve, I know you've been doing a good job of trying to keep them out of the mic.
We've been trying really hard to keep them quiet because we care about our listeners and we don't want to have them be annoyed by random sounds.
Well, unfortunately, this week, you guys might hear a sound that might annoy some. I'm a single dad this weekend. The mother of my child is on the road. You know, she's part of a musical group, so a band, and they're on a Labor Day weekend show in Quincy, California. So 10 hours away from here.
Whoa.
So I'm here this weekend with the baby, almost 15 months. And, I usually have my own little room, my own little studio to record. But I have to be upstairs here in the living area watching the child and record a podcast. So hopefully I'm not too distracted, and hopefully she's not too loud. Right now she's just wandering aimlessly around with Charlie in her mouth.
And who is Charlie?
I thought you all knew who Charlie was. Charlie Booker, So,
Okay.
No,
Well, shut up.
that's what we call her pacifier. Her Maggie Simpson. It has a little dog attached. I think they're called wobblies, but it's just a pacifier with a little stuffed animal attached to it. So that's her suck.
It's fitting for the show, I think.
So I apologize if you hear yips or screams. I'll try to delete her as much as possible.
Don't say that.
I was going to delete her 15 months ago.
It's almost like you need a second father to take care of everything.
When I meant delete, like I said, I should have made the point. Not that way, but I meant if only the good old Trojan helped me out that day,
Yeah. Only the goalie had been a little bit better.
And she's on her bouncer now that I think you purchased for us for the baby shower. And she's bouncing on, literally smiling at me right now. So I can't say no to that goofy little baby.
No. It's good that you're a great dad, and I think our listeners are totally understanding.
Yeah. Hey, listeners, why don't we have a new Patreon level, Gruntled listener? We'll have a higher rate where they pay us to babysit my child.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
And they can sit in the couch and watch us record the podcast.
Somehow that's creepier than letting them watch your kids to me.
But hey, speaking of Patreon, I thought it'd be fun to tell our non-Patreon members right now.
I like to consider them our future Patreon listeners.
Yes, be our future children like I have right here. And sign up today, $5 a month.
Mm-hmm.
There's already what, we've reviewed 5 movies now?
I think so, yeah.
And we have an Eye Off Springfield, which we talk about the Family Guy episode, The Simpsons guy. And as of this Labor Day weekend, or the August 31st, at 7:30 p.m., aptly we dropped the first episode of King of the Hill, Season 1, Episode 1 pilot, our review of that. And boy, that was a lot of fun. So if you're a King of the Hill fan, I highly recommend you subscribe today. And who knows, maybe more episodes of King of the Hill might be reviewed. It could be a whole new podcast.
I think that'd be great because I am loving King of the Hill, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm also excited for what we're going to be talking about this week on the Patreon. But before we get to that, let's go back in time all the way back to November 17th, 2013.
That's right. We have the number one movie in the box office, co-written by the man who also co-wrote this week's episode. Steve, Don Payne. That's right. It's Thor, Dark World. And every week we review the movie of that week. And what a perfect time, a Don Payne episode to talk about a Don Payne movie, Thor, Dark World. That's what we do. That's what we do on our Patreon, right? This Friday, we're going to talk about Thor, Dark World.
Makes perfect sense. Why would you delineate from that?
But sadly, we're saying no, we're not going to do that.
That's right.
Because last week we talked about how this week's episode, Homer has to deliver a child in an elevator, and I commented that it's much like that episode Saved by the Bell, and we jokingly said, let's just review that next week. So, screw Thor. Sorry, Don. We will eventually talk about Thor Dark World, because it was number one in the box office for a couple weeks, and maybe the episode that Simpsons aired for that week was number one, which we haven't reviewed yet either. So, I'm sorry, Don, we're not going to go to Thor. Steve's a little marveled out from Iron Man 3 still, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I didn't hate it. It was fine.
Yeah, if you didn't like Iron Man 3 as much, you're not going to like Thor Dark World. It's kind of considered one of the lesser of Marvel movies.
That's what I've researched, and so that's kind of why I wanted to. And yeah, like you say, we'll get to it eventually. And, I figure we should take this opportunity as you only live once.
Right. And the fact that we get to review an episode of Saved by the Bell, which I believe is, here's for our Patreon members and non-Patreon members. We're telling you now, if you need to go and watch it or just listen to us talk about it, it's pretty simple. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Can you get it on Prime?
You can. It's free on Prime. The structure is weird because sometimes it's season 4, episode 19. It's also season 6, episode 8. But it's entitled Earthquake.
Yeah, it's entitled Earthquake. I have it as season 4, episode 21.
That's right. That's what IMDb says. But because of casting reasons, which we'll probably talk about on the episode, it is listed differently on Prime, which I will tell you right now. But yeah.
Well, that's fine. I think it'll be under our other podcast, I Have Springfield. But yeah, check it out. It's going to be fun. I have always wanted to talk about a Saved by the Bell episode, and now we get to. So that's another reason for the sign up to Patreon, because we might change it up every once in a while. There's no set schedule, but you are guaranteed at least 4 episodes a month of bonus episodes. We get 2 episodes a week. That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, you're going to like it, god damn it. Or we could talk about baseball, maybe. I don't know. I like watching some teams playing. Like, I don't know. What's the team from Kansas City called?
Ah, yes, the Royals. But, sometimes they don't win that often. It makes me need to pray. Pray to my God. Pray to my Lord, if you will.
Steve, what was number one song in the Hot Billboard of that week?
Why, that was Royals by Lord. And that song was very explosive.
Ooh, yeah, it was.
It was a hit, it blew up like a volcano.
Do you think it blew up on July 14th?
It sure did.
Steve, what was the number one hot rock alternative of that week?
Why, it was Pompeii by everyone's favorite day, Bastille.
I bet the people in France, they celebrate Bastille Day, but I think they would rather celebrate something cool like 4th of July. I bet they wish they were the United States.
Yeah, because, I always feel like when I'm in my cities and not in my Lamberts, that we are us, and we've always been us. We were us, and we will continue to be us.
Steve, give me the country.
Okay. It's We Were Us by Keith Urban and Miranda Lambert.
Do you think when they recorded that song that they had like percussion and maybe instruments they had to plug in to generate power?
I think they did until their dog urinated on that equipment and they had to shun it.
Aw. Steve, what was the dance song of that week?
Why, it was Electricity and Drums, Bad Boy, by Ade, featuring Akon and Luciana.
Steve, that sounds like fun to dance to that song. I like how there's a song, Electricity and Drums, Bad Boy. Is that what is Bad Boy, What You Gonna Do?
I think it is, yeah. I think it's the cops sing.
Even those cops are bastards?
That's right, they're bad boys. What are you gonna do?
So even like Lieutenant Frank Drebin of Police Squad is a bastard?
He even lied about his girlfriend, so I don't even know what to believe anymore.
Well, we haven't reviewed the new Naked Gun movie, Steve. Eventually, we'll get to that one. Right?
I'm sure we will, yeah.
I don't know. Reviewing comedy is kind of hard. So let's just get in with this week's episode of The Simpsons. in which it's called labor pains. So Homer helps a woman named Gretchen deliver her baby in an elevator. And when she names the child Homer Jr., he quickly develops a deep emotional bond with the kid. So meanwhile, the B story, Lisa is recruited by the cheerleaders of a local pro football team, the Springfield Atoms. All right, Steve, what do you say we go ahead and watch that episode?
Sounds good.
All right, let's take a little breather and then begin the episode. We'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about labor pains. It's the 5th episode of the 25th season. It's episode 535 in the show's run. Original air date, November 17th, 2013. The nerd code is RABF19. It was written by Don Payne and Mitchell H. Glazer, directed by Matthew Faughnan, and showrunner Al Jean.
Alrighty, let's start with Mitchell H. Glazer. He's written 2 episodes of The Simpsons, both with Don Payne. Thursdays with Abby, which we have yet to review, and this one, Labor Pain. He's also a contributing writer to the special Beauty Queens Gone Wrong, 15 Shocking Pageant Scandals, as well as one 2007 episode of Live from E, the E Network. And then, of course, Don Payne. We've talked about him before, usually writing with John Frink. He is a writer of several sitcoms, including Hope and Gloria. He wrote the Uma Thurman special movie, My Super Ex-Girlfriend. And he's also written some Marvel movies, such as Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Thor from 2011, and its sequel, Thor: The Dark World. But sadly, Payne is no longer with us because he suffered a heart failure from bone cancer in 2013.
Bummer, yeah. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. I don't think I saw that one. I haven't seen the new one yet. Yeah, Thor: Dark World, that's the number 1 movie when this episode airs. So he must have had
quite the week for him.
Yeah, he's got his Thor movie. I mean, that movie was a little long because my eyes were so Thor after it.
Yeah, I low-key got bored halfway through it. But I was hammered.
I was saying he's got comedy creds. Like, what is this? Like, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, I don't think was received that well. So it's like he's got like superheroes and comedy on the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like me.
Yeah, I mean, you are the Don Payne of this podcast, I guess. And I hope that I'm more the John Frink and not the H. Mitchell Glazer. Because I don't want to write for beauty pageants and for the E Network.
Is Beauty Queens Gone Wrong? Like, is that, what is that?
I think it's a literal, like, special that was on, like, probably like Fox or something.
Okay.
Maybe during a writer strike or when they need to, like, some bullshit to put on the air.
Is that when they just get comedians to talk about like something that they don't know anything about but pretend to? Like, you remember like like VH1 had all
like the
those.
Best Week Ever type of situation.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like that, or like I love the 80s or I love the 90s.
I don't think we're gonna review any of that on our hit Patreon podcast,
but maybe our unsuccessful one will cover it.
So our current podcast.
Yeah,
Patreon
exactly.
Podcast. Okay. Well, Steve, I'll have you know we have a title gag.
Ooh, do tell.
We got the Simpsons zooming by the old shitty bang bang car. That Ian Fleming book.
Yes. Before James Bond had an Aston Martin, Dick Van Dyke had a old car that made sounds and flew.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Me neither. I don't know. Aside from the flying car, I really don't know what it's about. I assume that Dick Van Dyke was probably drunk at some point. But we do have a billboard gag, and it's Monday Night Football at Moe's. And now the screens are clean.
Is that a reference to all the jizz that Homer put on the screen?
I mean, not all Homer's jizz. I mean, Barney's there too, and Sam and Larry and all the rest. Who knows what goes on at Moe's?
So it's not just like collected dust. All right. Speaking of jizz, we have a chalkboard gag that says Rocktober is not followed by Blowvember. So I'm assuming like Bart was in class at Krabaugh was like, yeah, welcome to October, as I like to call it, Rocktober. And then Bart's like, hey, why don't you suck my dick, because next month is Blowvember.
I feel like asking for sexual favors from a teacher warrants a bigger punishment than just writing stuff on a chalkboard. But I haven't been in school for a while, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how things go these days.
I think the youth this day tells their teacher to suck their dick. I think it's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they say 6'7", skibbity toilet, no cap. But Craig, we do have a couch gag of the time, not the time that we're in now, but the time when the episode aired, because when the Simpsons take on the first Thanksgiving, So the Simpsons, as pilgrims, escape persecution by boarding the Mayflower, which looks an awful like the sailboat painting that Marge did behind the couch. And while sailing through the rough seas, they fight a giant Moe serpent with an anchor, and then Marv and Homer attempt to have sex, but the hand of God tells them not to. And then they finally arrive at Plymouth Couch, where an Indian, happens to be a Pooh, offers them Thanksgiving dinner for only $19.95 a person.
That's probably pretty expensive back in like 1600 days or
Oh, yeah.
1400 days. Yeah, expensive. But, it's a Pooh, so they got to mark up prices. For
Right, of course.
Quickie Mart.
I mean, if you bought Thanksgiving dinner from a convenience store, it'd be pretty expensive.
Well, Steve, our episode begins, as it always does, in the kitchen of the Simpsons household, where Maggie is checking out an array of new pacifiers. As Marge grows impatient, Maggie takes one of the binkies, sniffs it, and gives it a thoughtful taste, then tosses it disapprovingly on the ground. So Marge relents, allowing Maggie to have her old pacifier after removing it from Santa's little helper's mouth and doing a quick sink rinse.
So Lisa then walks in, reading the book Pretending to Like Football by Mrs. John Madden. She shares the tidbit that American football is actually based on an ancient Aztec game, but Bart tries to correct her, saying that it's just football, not American football. And Lisa, in her Springfield Atoms shirt, wonders aloud if Bart is jealous that Milhouse invited her to the American football game rather than him.
I'm already kind of pissed off at this episode. I'm not saying I'm not giving cards away of saying whether I like it or not. I just don't like the fact that Lisa, okay, she liked football that one time she was gambling with her dad, but it just seems weird that she would go with Milhouse. It doesn't seem like Lisa at all. There should have been a reason. She's studying to football, and I think the book Mrs. John Madden is very funny. There should have been something else there. It's just maybe a musician she likes is gonna perform the Star Spangled Banner, and something where she wants to go there.
Yeah, because she's shown interest in football 2 times. One, as you mentioned, that she was gambling, and that other time when Bart was on the football team and she wanted to join, and Ed was like, "Yeah, sure." But yeah, this feels completely unwarranted.
And she doesn't like Milhouse.
Right.
Milhouse is gonna try to get a Blowvember from her, and she's not gonna do it.
We moved on from Bart Summer to Lisa Fall.
Lisa Blowvember. All right.
A Blowvember to remember.
Well, as they argue, Homer rushes in, saying that he doesn't have time for a proper breakfast, so he requests a banana, which he peels and then tosses the fruit, replacing it with several pieces of bacon. So it's like a little bacon holder. And then he tells Marge that he once again has to work late. Then Homer juices a grapefruit, leaving the juice behind, and taking the peel, which he fills with syrup. I think this little run is very sitcom-y because you always see, I'm running late, they always grab a banana. But I like how Homer's just throwing it away. That's Homer. You wouldn't eat a banana.
And I like the bouquet of bacon pieces in the banana peel. It's fun.
And grapefruit juice. Who drinks grapefruit juice?
I think that's really a throwback to the 70s when there was a moment when the grapefruit diet was a big thing where people thought that if you ate a grapefruit, you'd lose weight. And I think it's kind of stuck around.
And did people cut it and then just pour sugar all over the grapefruit?
Yeah. Tons of sugar because that's the only way you can really eat a grapefruit.
I don't mind a cocktail with grapefruit juice in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've gone to bars before. I'm like, do you guys have grapefruit juice? Some bars wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep because if you want fresh juice, you got to keep it and can't sit around forever. And not everyone is ordering a Paloma. So yeah, you got to sometimes fake it with a squirt or something.
And why do they call it a grapefruit? It doesn't taste like grapes.
And it's already a fruit.
And why do they call them grape nuts? Ah, airplanes.
That's Jerry Seinfeld on a airplane hanger. Well, Marge is frustrated that he has yet another late night away, as she was hoping that he'd spend some time with the kids. Homer blames the failing economy, saying that money doesn't grow on trees. We then cut to a poker game where he adds that money grows on threes, revealing his poker hand of 3 of a kind. Carl and Lenny both fold, as does Moe, who says it's too rich for his blood, and then shares his regret of betting with bags of his own blood.
I'm surprised we didn't get the go and saying money grows on threes, the transition from him talking to Marge to the poker game that, yeah, I know they've done a joke before, but well, that's an odd thing to say.
Mm-hmm. It would have also been funny if he had a full house And he only got the 3s, because he could have gotten better.
Well, Lenny, in his flaminghotpoker.net branded hat, worn backwards, and reflective sunglasses, deals another hand, and Homer laughs, complimenting Lenny's eyewear, which he uses to see his opponent's cards. So Homer wonders to himself if he wants to continue to cheat his friends, lie to his wife, and voice kids. He asks himself, what would Jesus do?
Well, a thought bubble then appears, showing Jesus, Christ, at the poker table, saying Homer will have to pay to find out. But the King of Kings, and Queens, and Aces then brags about not having a tell. But just then, his halo begins to spin on his head. So, feeling guilty about taking his friend's money, Homer calls it a night, but not before grabbing a sandwich, a couple cans of Duff, and a candle. Homer takes his winnings and gets on the elevator, where he meets someone who may change his life forever, or at least until the end of the episode.
Who's president now, Alexander Hamilton?
I think it's Obama.
Hold the door, please! 2 minutes apart.
Timing the elevators, eh? Smart.
Oh, no. I'm timing my contractions. I think I'm in labor. Deep in labor.
Okay. No worries. What the? Oh.
Do you have a cell phone?
Everyone has a cell phone. Mine's at home.
The most beautiful moment of my life is happening now!
Everything will be fine. You like movies? This reminds me of that scene in Alien.
What?
The scene where she escapes with the cat at the end.
Aw, well, that's sweet. Listen, I'm glad I'm not going through this alone. I haven't seen my boyfriend in months.
He was just here.
No, he wasn't. But thanks for lying.
You like lies? Here's a few. College is expensive, but it's worth it.
I think the baby's coming!
Do you have a cell phone? Of course you do. Everyone's got a cell phone. Mine's at home.
Good stuff. Of course, that Gretchen is played by Peggy Olson, Zoe Bartlett, June Osborne, Elizabeth Moss. At the time, we were in probably season 5 or 6 of Mad Men, so still very popular. And this was just after her marriage to Fred Armisen, which she regrets. And she's reported as saying that she's very scared of this episode because the production was very quick. And she had to lean on the directors and writers for support.
Why did she regret being married to Fred Armisen?
Because he was a bad husband, and he even admits so himself. And they're only married for 10 months.
Yeah. Is he a bad husband to Ricky Lindholm?
I don't know. That one time that I saw her at my old job, I never asked.
Why not?
Because I wanted to ask about Garfunkel instead.
Art or Kate Micucci? Why don't they collab,
I think they could have a lot of fun, doing a parody of Bridge Over Troubled Waters, but make it about, somebody's boyfriend or something.
Is Ricky Lindholm the Oates or the Garfunkel?
They debated it a lot.
Oh, they did? I don't know.
I think it was running gag in their short-lived but very good IFC, Always On, Never Off TV show. But yeah, I always assume that Ricky Lindholm is the Garfunkel and Micucci is the Oates, but I could be wrong.
Because Lindholm's taller, and Garfunkel was taller than John Oates.
Exactly.
And Kate Micucci likes Quaker Oats.
It's true. But Ricky Lindholm eats men. He's a real man-eater, you see.
Right, okay. I don't know how we got to this, but here we are with Homer and Gretchen. So Homer thinks back to his Lamaze training when Marge was expecting, and the instructor offers a position for those carrying an especially large bit of weight, and Homer is called to volunteer, finding comfort in that position. I like it because he's getting comfort as if he's a pregnant woman. It's great.
Now, did you have to do that when you were in...
No, Lamaze isn't really a thing anymore.
Really? Because I only know it from sitcoms.
Yeah, because that was a thing of the 80s.
Right.
So it's more just we took a parenting class, and there's no the hee hoo hoo that you see on TV. No one's on their back spreading legs. It's all lies, people. TV's lies.
I don't know what to believe now. If TV's not true, then nothing is.
That's true.
He's going to listen to AM radio. That's where I'll get all my information. So back in the elevator, Gretchen yells, "You did this to me." And Homer swears that he didn't do anything. And Gretchen clarifies that she's actually referring to her baby. So Homer grabs his coat, ready to help, reluctantly telling the new mom that her child doesn't have any legs. But a moment later, Homer realizes that there's more to come.
It's a dude! And he's uncut. Very Euro. Now hug your mommy. For unto you is born this day in this elevator inspected in August 2009, a baby.
Well, it was nice to share this moment with someone who cared.
Yeah, that guy didn't even look over once.
Lobby, please.
I love that guy.
He's great. And, of course, he was reading a newspaper with a headline on the front that said, tire fire turns 20, and on the back it said, local man tries golf, doesn't like it.
Was that you, Steve? Did you not like it?
I didn't like it, no. But I like in that clip that that's how you pointed me out, other than other ways that you might have. So, yes.
Oh, how you're very Euro?
Exactly.
If you want to know how Euro is, sign up today at patreon.com/AnnoyingGrumpBoys.
I think I'm back for another account.
Oh,
For our fans only. Homer arrives home and sneaks into bed at 1:30 in the morning. Marge sleepily asks how work was, to which Homer replies, miraculous. He goes on to say how awesome mothers are, and that causes Marge to snuggle up next to him.
well, let's go to Lisa's storylines, okay?
I guess so.
So at the Buzz Cola Dome, the Springfield Atoms are taking on the Shelby Sharks. In the stands, Milhouse shows off how good their seats are, telling Lisa that they could hear the team swear from where they're sitting, just as one of the players threatens to kick his ass.
Well, in order to take the crowd's collective mind off the violent injury that they just saw, the announcer welcomes the hometown cheerleaders, the Springfield Atomettes. The cheer squad asks for a junior Atomette to lend them a hand, and the Jumbotron scans the crowd, landing on Milhouse. And he yells at his father, saying that he's finally been picked to be a part of a team.
But then Kirk responds with a whisper, asking Milhouse not to refer to him as dad, saying that if the public knew that peanut vendors, such as himself, had families, it'd be too depressing. So the camera then moves slightly to the left, making Lisa the volunteer. I like how Kirk went from crackers to peanuts.
I mean, he's working for Peanuts now. Do you think that's how Milhouse got the tickets?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. So Lisa is carried out to the field by two Atomettes. She's happy to help, but is unsure of the team's chances of winning. And one of the cheerleaders confirms Lisa's worries, saying that the Atoms are going to get creamed. And after a quick huddle, Lisa is wearing a Buzz Cola branded cheerleading outfit.
So the squad then begins a routine, and Lisa eventually catches on. In the crowd, Milhouse boasts that he's dating a cheerleader, but Lisa shouts, he's not, actually. The football player then mocks Milhouse, saying that he was burned once again. It's fun, a bit of animation where she's just like thrust into this cheer thing and just kind of like looking like what she's supposed to do.
I like how she eventually catches on. It's good.
Yeah.
So the game lets out, and a banner is hung, proudly stating that the team covered the over, proving successful in the betting communities. And outside the Atomettes' locker room, Lisa compliments them on their performance and then asks for her usual clothes back. So there's another huddle, and Lisa is back into her iconic red dress.
That's kind of creepy. So they're just like taking clothes off of a child, a minor.
Mm-hmm. But like, it takes like 8 of them to do it, and they can do it smoothly, so that's something, I guess.
It only takes Jared from Subway to do it once. I don't know what that means. All right, so we're going to go to a clip here where the two stories are intertwined. So we're going to meet the rich Texan talking to the cheerleaders, and then we're going to go to Homer leaving the poker game and then greeted again by Gretchen.
Great job, ladies. Now here's your $50 each, which should just about cover your parking.
I can't believe he pays you so little. The crowd was crazy about you.
I know, but what are we gonna do about it? If we pipe up, they'll put us in the mascot costume.
Ew. After you wear that, you need to be hosed down for bed bugs.
Good game, everyone. I never dreamed a night where you discovered I was cheating and beat the crap out of me could end on such an up note.
See you next week.
Homer!
Hey, Gretchen.
I had your jacket cleaned.
Good as new. And thanks for loaning me your sweater for the ride home. It may be a little stretched out.
Jeez, that was a pregnancy sweater. So, you want to hold little Homer?
Wow, so now there's 2 things named after me. A baby and a law banning air horns after 3 a.m.
So in the beginning of that clip, they talked about how the cheerleaders weren't being paid, which is, of course, a reference to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders who were not paid for a long time and then paid very little, about $75 a game. And now, I think after much fighting, they make about $75,000 a year.
Good. That Jerry Jones is a piece of shit.
Yeah, screw him.
And screw all of Texas.
Yeah. I mean, Texas is dumb. Except for our listeners in Texas.
Well, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, and you should move.
I mean, they probably can't, Steve. It's difficult Border Patrol and all.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Ugh, I hate our world.
You mean country, Steve. The world is great. The country sucks.
That's true. Yeah, I don't like our country. Not a political podcast. So Homer returns to the Plywood Heights apartments carrying a box. So he walks by Unit 3A and he hears Moe tell his pals to read him and weep, referring to the works of Charlotte Bronte.
A great joke.
But Carl reminds the barkeep that they're actually playing cards. So Homer goes to apartment 3C and Gretchen's apartment, telling her that he just happened to be driving around town with baby stuff that he didn't need.
So Homer gives Gretchen some diapers that Maggie has grown too big for, as well as a Yale diploma guaranteed educational toy that he forgot to give to Bart. So the new mother is appreciative, but wonders if Homer could simply just, watch Homer Jr. for an hour. I was half expecting Homer pulling Maggie out of the box.
Oh, that would have been funny, yeah. After thinking for a moment, Homer says that he has plans. He then looks over to see Lenny trying to leave Carl's apartment with his winnings, but Moe stops him by flinging 5 cards into his back. And Moe is even more upset because he sees those cards and they're actually a full house. And because of all that chaos, Homer decides to stay in with the baby.
Well, Homer begins his night of entertaining the child by showing him Tapped Out mobile game, R.I.P., where he accidentally spends $300. Uh-oh. Next up is a game of peekaboo, which turns into an innocent fun into a frightening ordeal. Well, Hoju hides under a blanket, outsmarting the elder Homer as he searches high and low, and Homer then combs the baby's hair in a style of his own, using colorform M's over the ears to replicate Homer's own hairline.
Nice little touch there with the M.
Yeah.
Back in the comfort of his own home, Homer rocks Maggie on his knee while thinking about doing the same to Homer Jr. But Maggie has her own fantasy, replacing Homer with Ned Flanders. And later, Homer introduces his namesake to the Itchy and Scratchy show.
There you go. Maggie likes Flanders more. I mean, she was baptized by him, or almost.
Yeah, she wants to be a Flanders. I think that, more than any other Simpson, except for maybe Marge.
Right. Marge just wants Flanders in her, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Well, in the cartoon Cats in the Cradle, Itchy's watching football, and then he answers the door to find a basket with baby Scratchy inside, holding a paper that says, "Love me." So as the Harry Chapin hit song plays, Itchy lovingly takes in the cat, buying kitty litter and starter yarn, helping him with his first steps, playing catch, and taking his adopted son fishing. Now, I know the song Cats in the Cradle gets played a lot, and it's always discussed as one of the most depressing songs that fathers and sons and shit like that, but I've never been depressed by that song at all.
I think it's a very sweet song that is very well written and has a great narrative. And yeah, I don't think it's depressing so much as it is just really effective in the message that it's trying to convey.
I think it's hilarious and funny and uplifting.
It's like an Adam Sandler song. Well, the parenting continues as Itchy teaches Scratchy how to drive his Ford Mustang and proudly takes pictures of Scratchy with his prom date, a lovely giraffe woman. Scratchy then receives his diploma from Princeton, and Itchy hands the son a gift, which happens to be a lit bomb. And as the cat explodes, Homer reflects on the cartoon, saying that kids blow up so fast.
For a moment, I thought you said a lit bong. It's I wish someone would give me a lit bong.
That's the graduation present that we all want.
At the Snapper Jack's grocery store, which is a parody of Trader Joe's, Homer reaches at the end of an aisle where he finds Marge and Maggie. So looking at this cart full of baby supplies, Marge assumes that Homer is shopping for Maggie, and Homer reveals the truth. But it just turns out to be a stupid fantasy.
Oh, no, I'm shopping for Homer Jr., a baby I delivered in an elevator the night I pretended to go to work but was really playing poker.
What?
This simulation has been brought to you by your brain, a subsidiary of your penis.
No!
Oh, yes, I'm shopping for Maggie, our baby together. So this looks perfectly innocent.
Why are you saying that?
Oh, you know how the first few weeks are. Sleep-deprived, walking around in a fog.
First few weeks of what?
November?
Homer, it's Blowvember, not November. I hate this, I don't know if it's a trope, but style of storytelling where you think something's happening, but it didn't happen. And when Homer's just telling the truth of what happened, and it's no, it was just what I should have said in my mind. I hate that kind of shit. In fact, we talk about it on our Patreon podcast episode about the Amityville Horror from 2005. There's a couple scenes where they do that same shit, and then it's no, it's not real. I hate that. It's stop it. Don't do it.
Yeah, and also the fact that Marge beats him with a rolling pin is just a little bit too, it's just dumb.
It'd be funnier if, because this is imagination, instead of the rolling pin, it should have been like she pulls out a bazooka and then blows him up.
Yeah. Also, just the whole logic of this episode doesn't really make sense.
Why is he hiding this from Marge? Okay, yeah, I went and played poker. Also, the whole, that sitcom, I've been using the word trope a lot in this episode. I'm trying to think of something else to say, but, Marge is fine with him going out to Moe's all the time.
There's even a point in this episode where he comes home and he's like, oh man, I'm so tired, which we'll get to him later. And she's like, oh, well, rough night at Moe's. And so she's clearly okay with it. And, we know this about Marge.
It's just, go have fun playing poker. Maybe it's because she is a gambling addict and wishes that she was playing poker.
Maybe.
She was more of a slot jockey, I guess. But there's video poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Homer should just tell the truth right off the bat. Yeah, I helped someone give birth in an elevator. That's fucking crazy. You only see that show on TV, and it's a great story to tell. Hiding it from your spouse, it's dumb.
Right, and you think Marge would probably be supportive of that too. Oh, you did a good deed.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. So, meanwhile, Lisa returns to the Buzz Cola Stadium, where she is happily greeted by the Adamettes. And after clarifying that her name isn't Caitlin, Lisa asks the cheerleaders if they're aware that they're being exploited. And the Adamettes ask, what? And then use their bodies to spell out the word, what?
Yeah, Lisa points to the poster of the Adamettes for sale that feature such nuclear-related slogans as Meltdown or Raise Your Core Temperature and Cheer, Noble. Lisa then shows them the workout DVDs that they weren't paid for, and then the fact that all their practices are broadcast via several webcams hidden all over the field, including some with really low angles. So Lisa offers a solution, though the rich Texan isn't very cooperative.
But don't worry, collective bargaining will enable us to secure concessions. We're gonna push him back, push him way back, all the way to a new contract, 'cause union power is a fact, and we're...
Okay, we get it.
Well, look who's here. You've been hit by the cheerleading bug, little lady?
Actually, I've been hit by the unfair labor practices bug.
What? Why, that's Samuel Gumper's talk. Now, little missy, the only thing you should be organizing is your dollies.
How? By size, brand, value, and don't even suggest race, 'cause I don't see that. I just see little people I own. What do you say, ladies?
Not right, not fair. Let's say it with our hair.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna give it some thought, then say no in the nicest way possible. No.
That was pretty nice. Last week when, you asked me what I think this episode is about, and we kind of knew it was about Homer giving birth, that kind of labor, and I made the joke that, oh no, it's about labor because as of this record, we actually are recording in America on Labor Day.
That's right.
I've, been bitching about some things in this episode. This is one I won't bitch about, even though I don't like the storyline spoilers. But it has to do with there's two labors that they're talking about, and Lisa is with the labor and the union for the cheerleaders, and of course the labor with Homer. So, kudos to them to actually using both labors.
For that aspect, I will give this episode points because, yeah, it is pretty witty to have that play on words used two different ways. And of course, the Rich Texan reference called Lisa saying that she sounded like a Samuel Gompers. And those who are not well-versed in labor practices of the 50s and 60s, he was a cigar maker and a labor union leader, and a big figure, much like Jimmy Hoffa, in the labor union community in America.
I'm pretty sure our listeners know who Samuel Gompers are. They're smart and educated.
That's true, yes. Much like the cheerleaders, who Lisa feels the need to talk down to for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, the Adamettes reconvene in the treehouse of 742 Evergreen Terrace, where they make inspiring protest signs that say, "Give me a P for pension and health. We want overtime for overtime," and "Beat Dallas," which Lisa, like everyone else can, agree you can't argue with. And then a bouquet of flowers tied to a rock is thrown into the treehouse.
So outside is a group of very horny men who have shown up to offer their support, including a Nelson Muntz who tells the ladies that his vest isn't the only thing that's ripped. Does that mean I know because he's not wearing a shirt, Maybe he's talking about his underwear.
That would make sense. I mean, we know how he lives. He's got easy access to that young boy's penis.
Oh, boy, said Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So Mayor Quimby shouts that he's in the market for one, maybe two, backup mistresses. And Marge arrives looking for Hoser. That's Hoju, but Ho Senior. Hoser.
I don't know.
Have you kids seen your father? Surprised he's not here ogling these girls. He said he was going to work. On a Friday afternoon? I bet he's playing poker again. Coming through, wife on a mission.
Go, fight, win, Marge!
Wow, I've never burst through a banner before, but it really does the trick. Homer, I know you're here. Your car's outside. Where is he?
I honestly don't know. I'm just teaching myself massage here with online videos and a store mannequin.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, do you have any injuries I should know about? Oh.
If he's not in there, where is he?
Oh, baby, shake it. Homer like.
Oh.
Shake it. Now roll over on your tummy just like I taught you. Tell me what a cow says. My other baby mama!
I do like miscommunication or misdirection.
Mm-hmm. Two of my favorite drag queens.
But like Marge thinking that he's having sex with another woman. I like her imagining like, all right, now turn over on your tummy like a tot. Like Homer taught.
Tell me what a cow says.
Cow says, yeah. Have you ever done that sexually?
No. Well, not a cow, but, horse, sheep, other barnyard animals, sure.
Back when we were younger, Steve.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever done anything. I'm very boring is what I'm trying to say. I'm very vanilla when it comes to...
I mean, vanilla's a flavor, but yes, I am too.
I don't want role play.
No. I don't want anger. I don't want, slapping or any sort of, yeah. It's like, peanut butter is really good, and you don't have to add other things to it. In sex, it's the same way.
Yeah, don't... Yeah. I mean, it's okay if you do it, say, call me daddy, that sort of thing, but...
Are you speaking to me specifically?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Call me by your name.
Chalamet.
So Marge has seen that Homer has been spending time at another woman's apartment, but he assures her it's not as bad as it looks. So when Gretchen worries about all the commotion will wake Homer Jr., and Marge is stunned to learn that they had a baby together.
Oh. Also, yeah, she's not that angry enough if she thought that, I don't know. But Homer calmly tells Marge that they did it in an elevator, leaving Marge to think that she's a Schwarzenegger wife. But Homer suggests that it's all good, since she's also the housekeeper. But Marge thinks none of this is good, except maybe that Homer hasn't had a drink for a week.
I like the line of Schwarzenegger wife. That's a reference to when we found out that Schwarzenegger had a kid with their maid.
Yep, and therefore Maria Shriver left her, and that's the worst thing to ever happen to the Kennedy family.
I don't know, isn't it Schwarzenegger's daughter marrying Chris Pratt? Isn't that the worst thing?
Oh, that is pretty bad, yeah. Also, what his son did to his brother, that's pretty gross. White Lotus Season 3? Ugh.
Well, that's how we met.
Oh, that's true.
But we're not related, so...
Yeah.
we met by jerking off Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And Parker Posey was not too happy about it.
Because she called you Piper. How did she say that?
Piper, no.
Oh, sad update. No one cares about this, but I think we talked about it on the podcast that Parker Posey is coming to the Rose City Comic-Con here in Portland in a week. But sadly, she had to cancel because of, I guess, the Emmys, because she's nominated. So she'll be attending those and not hanging out with us in Portland. So we can't get her to say, shut up, annoyed grump-boys.
Wow, that's a shame, but good for her.
And at least we get to save money by not going to the Rose City Comic-Con.
Exactly.
All right. So Homer tells Marge that what actually happened, and luckily for him, the guy in the elevator is standing in Gretchen's apartment to vouch for them. I appreciate that they brought Elevator Man back.
Yeah, I like Elevator Man.
I assumed he was just going to be in that as that one joke, but that he was there again was great because he's once again reading the paper, but this time with the headline, Apple buys Facebook on eBay. So followed by the back page, which reads, newspapers can't afford articles on back. I mean, it's true. You would see a newspaper, they're all ads on the back.
Yeah. They don't write articles on the very back. Silly.
And then the funniest part here is the man points out it's funny that he's actually a doctor and walks away. So I think that's the 1-2 punch that a doctor was on the elevator. It didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's like a dentist, but I guess he said doctor. Dentists aren't doctors. I forgot.
No, of course not. Though Marge is pleased with the good deed that Homer did, she feels that he shouldn't come back to the apartment. She then points out the strange poop that she noticed on his Homer's collar. That's a funny line because the word strange is doing a lot of heavy lifting. There's some poop on his collar, totally normal, but the strange poop.
I mean, I don't think Marge knows everyone's poop in the house because she does like the laundry, so she knows the Maggies and Bart and Lisa's and the other kids. Homer.
The rest.
She knows Millhouses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At Marge's request, Homer says goodbye to his namesake, if only for a little while.
Goodbye, Homer Jr. I guess you're the man of the house now. And never forget, even though the mortgage is due on the 1st, you can usually wait till the 17th.
You know what? I think it's fine if Homer spends a few hours now and then with Homer Jr.
Exactly. You always said charity begins at home, but not which home.
It's true. I never specified the home.
I do like the Marge is like, yeah, you're right. I didn't actually say which home it was, so you got a point.
He wins by default. Exactly.
Default.
So as the Atomettes protest outside the Buzz Cola Dome, they garner support from other sister unions, such as the Weather Girls of the Local 143, who put storm clouds over the Atoms posters, and the United Federation of Ungrateful Au Pairs, who allow the kids they're watching to play in busy traffic while they talk and text on their phones. So even the crowds back the cheerleaders, keeping quiet as the touchdown is scored. The Atomettes continue their march with signs that read,
"Cheering a lousy team is work.
We eat too, just not much.
This eye candy needs dental.
No money, no honey.
Give me an M, give me an I, give me minimum wage.
Fair pay of no yay."
So a van pulls up, revealing the Scab replacement cheerleader squad made up of Mrs. Muntz, Patty and Selma, and Crazy Cat Lady. And their routine causes a reaction, though not a positive one, as several men in the crowd pull up their shirts over their heads, revealing they've spelled out, "We're just covering our eyes" on their chests.
Meanwhile, Homer puts Hoju to bed with a lullaby his father saying to him, which is the word sleep repeated in the tune of The Simpsons. I'm going to have to try that with my child.
Mm-hmm.
Homer arrives home where Marge is reading the advice book, kicking the advice book habit. So when Homer shows how tired he is, Marge assumes that's due to the wild night at Moe's. There's the reference we brought up. But Homer says it's from head, shoulders, knees, and toes, adding the toes always gets you. I mean, it's a pretty fast song. Trust me, Steve. I hear it a lot. Because you got to go head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees, and toes. So you're pointing to your knees, toes, and I'm just too old, bending down to the knees and toes and pointing to them. It's tough work.
Yeah, I would just focus on head and shoulders because that's where, you'd bend for that.
I focus more on my Pert Plus.
Yeah, I was going to say, why doesn't Head and Shoulders create a body wash called Knees and Toes? They're missing out.
I like the all-in-one soap that does the hair and the body. I imagine it's probably not good for you, but I get it at Trader Joe's, and I assume everything at Trader Joe's is quality product.
Absolutely. And you can always just do what I do and just get rid of all your hair, and then you can just use soap on everything.
No, Steve. I'm bringing pubes back. Pubes are more popular with the kids these days, so I'm keeping pubes.
It's very true. Yeah, it's people are rocking the bush these days, so I support it.
I'm going to the high schools and I'm going, hey kids, check out my pubes.
Because it's not a creepy because you're not asking to see theirs. You just want to show off yours. So it's completely normal. I respect that.
You can come with me the next time, all right?
Okay.
You can lead the way.
All right. As long as I got to stay some feet away. 500 or so. Anyway, Marge is frustrated, but Homer vows to spend time with all of his kids. Lisa, meanwhile, in this clip, helps the cheerleaders find a solution to their own problem.
What about your own children?
Way ahead of you, Marge. I'm taking all 4 of my kids to the zoo tomorrow.
3?
Yes, we'll be back by 3. Homer has a very tight nap schedule.
Quit talking about that baby.
I was talking about myself in the third person.
Oh.
We can't take much more of this, Lisa. The girls are getting so antsy, they'll cheer anything.
You're the greatest generation, worthy of our veneration. Go, Grandpa!
If this is heaven, why don't my shoes match?
Okay, I give up. I'm gonna do what we secretly did at the Alamo. Surrender.
Yay!
While you're at it, how about a little boost for peanut vendors?
What do you think I'm taking their raise out of?
I do like Homer saying that Homer sticks to a very tight nap schedule, because as do I. Usually come home from work, take a little hour nap, and then have dinner. It's great. I recommend naps for everybody.
Yeah, referring himself to the third person. When I worked actual job, that was the thing. I'd get home at like 2, lay on the couch, wake up at like 4:30,
Yep.
and then go make dinner. And then go to bed at like 9:30. So
That's about right.
I was less sleeping. Now, Steve, I'm up until like 3 in the morning.
Wow, I should go to bed at like 11 after taking a nap.
All right, Steve. Well, Homer, Bart, Lisa, Maggie, and Hoju go to the Springfield Zoo, the sad version of We Bought a Zoo. And Maggie's unsure of her makeshift sibling, but Homer tells the kids that he brought them to a place where animals live in harmony, hoping they'd find unity as well. So as he says, there's an elephant behind him beats a lion with a squirrel.
It's a great gag. I do have to admit that that's pretty funny.
I love it when like I'm at the zoo and you see like birds or squirrels like running around, and especially birds like do they look at the other like caged birds like you suck.
Just dropping off copies of My Antelope books, like, take that. Yeah, it is funny. And, like, I'm sure, like, the squirrels walk around the other rodents, just stuffing their face full of nuts and be like, you're trapped behind the wall. So Lisa hands Maggie and Homer Jr. each a swirl cone, but little Homer takes a bite of Maggie's. So she slaps him, which causes Homer to remind her that they don't hurt each other in this family. But Bart scoffs at this, saying that Homer can't even kiss him goodnight without slicing him with his stubble. So Homer rubs his unshaven face all over Bart's head, and all of this is causing Lisa to miss the giant capybaras of Uruguay.
Looking to cheer up the youngest kids, Homer goes to the monkey enclosure, making fun of the primates until they are angry. He mocks them for not having a soul. I love that. And then the monkeys grab him. So while he's distracted, Maggie pushes Homer Jr. out of their shared stroller, and then Hoju responds by pushing the stroller, sending Maggie rolling into the Prairie Dog Village. That's one of the villages I want to hang out in.
It does look like a lot of fun, but worried that Maggie could be trapped in the viral rodent's warren forever, Homer shakes his keys to distract the monkeys, and then he laughs as he throws the keys into the pen, where one of the monkeys quickly swallows them. But Maggie's still rolling backwards, but she thinks quickly, grabbing a dino head grabber from a nearby souvenir stand. She uses the dino wand to bite one of the stroller wheels, slowing her down, because it's very smart of her. She stops just in time as Marge grabs her before scolding Homer.
This is the last time you'll see that elevator, baby.
I'm sorry, Homer Jr. You'll occupy an idealized place in my heart that no one can ever quite fill.
Therapy, please. Me too.
Okay, I gotta impart all my fatherly advice in this one walk. The sky is blue, but nobody really knows why. Don't believe what they tell you. Girls are great and terrible at the same time. Get used to it. And most importantly, oops, we're here. You'll have to figure it out on your own. Sorry, little fella. One day I'll be that guy who comes to your wedding, makes you feel a little weird, and then runs away.
Homer, great news. Chase came back.
Woohoo!
Who's Chase?
Homer Jr.'s father.
Oh my God, is that my son?
You didn't tell me he was a soldier.
You didn't tell me you were pregnant.
I didn't want you to marry me because I was pregnant. I wanted you to marry me because I was nagging you.
Was that me at your wedding?
Yeah, you did make me feel a lot nervous. But you left, and so I appreciate that.
The only person that didn't leave your wedding was your wife.
That's true, yeah. Lucky.
For now.
It's true, and, it's almost 10 years, so time's almost up.
What's the 10th anniversary? Is that wood? Or
I'll tell you it is. I think it's like silver or something. I tried to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, silver. I thought silver was like 25.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. It might actually be wood.
Bronze creamer.
Would you like coffee?
I like Chase showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because you assume he's like some like deadbeat dad, but no.
Right. It's one of America's heroes. Tin or aluminum is the 10-year anniversary gift, by the way.
Oh, easy. Just get some Reynolds wrap. Perfect.
Exactly. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
So Homer Jr. begins to fuss, and Homer tells the baby's actual father that he enjoys having his toes tickled. And Chase says that his kid will like what he likes, dismissing Homer's case for nurture versus nature. And Homer says one last goodbye, touched to hear the baby's da-da. Unfortunately, he was saying that to his biological father, his cum giver.
That's right, that's what they call him. Chase tells Homer that one day he'll have kids of his own, But when Homer explains that he actually has 3, Chase admits that the situation just got a lot creepier than it was. Homer then leaves the apartment of the Happy Family to find that Moe has won Carl's door in a poker game.
So Homer pulls into his driveway where he finds Maggie. He realizes that if she could talk, she'd have some choice words for him. So Maggie reaches into her toy stroller and hands Homer her dolly. Homer's touched, saying it's the sweetest thing any baby has ever done for him. So the father and daughter hug. Maggie once again imagines Ned as her father, but Flanders holding a bottle of milk turns to Homer holding a bottle of Duff in Maggie's mind.
Aw, that's sweet. Although, I do have to point out that Homer Jr. is like 2 weeks old and is talking, and Maggie's like 35.
Yeah.
And she said mama once. Her daddy once, rather.
Yeah.
Back in the apartment of Gretchen, Chase, and Homer Jr., the soldier asks for a bottle opener to uncap his Duff. And as Gretchen goes to grab it, little Hoju uses his toy keys to open the beer, and then goes on to pour it into a glass with ease and proficiency, putting a coaster underneath the glass and flipping the cap into the trash. This is what Chase has been fighting for.
So the credits begin to roll, but before we go, let's see some more merch from the Atoms. Homer sees them for the first time as well, disappointed that he missed the cheerleaders in this episode. So we have
a Tumbling Fails DVD of the Atomettes dedicated to the memory of Brittany Jones,
a Cheer a Pet Chia Pet,
an Atomettes phone card, hold that line,
an Atomettes home pregnancy test, give me an EPT,
a book of doorways of cheerleaders' homes,
a copy of the Chira Sutra,
Raw cookie dough,
and an erotic novel, 50 Shades of Yay. And Steve, that's the episode.
Wow.
Steve, I'm going to have to take a labor break. Is that right?
I suppose I'll go on strike too.
All right, let's do that and come back and finish up the episode. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's finish up this week's episode of Labor Pains. We'll talk about some of our favorite jokes, scenes, maybe an MVJ. We'll give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all of that, Steve, it's time to give a gift from this episode. Because, you know, when a child is born, you give gifts. So our child of this episode is born.
Ah, that's sweet. And you could argue that the child itself is a gift.
Yeah, but it's one of those gifts you can't take to Kohl's and return to Amazon.
Right. You have to go to a fire department or something.
Yeah. So, Steve, there is plenty from this episode that could be gifted. I know you're a nerd and you like to read books, so I got you Pretending to Like Football by Mrs. John Madden. And, you know, when you're reading the book, you're probably hungry, so here's a banana. I know it's a boring banana, but open it up.
It's full of bacon.
Yeah. And I was going to get you some grapefruit juice, but I'm your friend, so I said not to.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And I went to a poker party, and I took some stuff on my way home. So I got some poker chips, a sandwich, and a part of a lit candle.
Finally, a candle for my household.
You've always wanted one.
Yes.
And here's a couple of pom-poms to hide your pom-poms.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice, Craig. And don't feel like you didn't get gifts as well, because you did. Because I got you a gift certificate to Snapper Jacks. They can get some of their great snacks. And maybe some 3-in-1 body wash, too, because evidently that's where you get it. A trip to the Prairie Dog Village, complete with a dino grabber. And, I got you a copy of the Chira Sutra, so you can practice all your cheerleading moves in an erotic fashion.
That'll come in handy for one of my body parts. I'll let you figure that out.
Yes.
Okay. Steve, what made you laugh in this episode?
I enjoyed the lion getting beat by the squirrel being held by the elephant. Very funny. I really like Dr. Elevator, which is what I decided to call him. The football player threatening to kick Milhouse's ass. And I like the products at the end of the cheerleader, the Atomettes, various promotional merchandise. I think that's funny. But if I had to give a jokester I think I'm going to give it to the elevator guy. What do you think, Craig?
You stole it. I feel like we always do the same MVJs a lot of times, and Elevator Guy was definitely my MVJ, so I'm not just stealing yours because
That's fair.
it's easy.
Yeah.
It was just pretty good. And you're right, the jokes at the end with the products, very fun word play. I do like Homer, on the elevator when giving birth, just because I like the, there's a couple lines where he's like, when she's counting her contractions, he's like, "Oh, you're timing the elevator. That's smart." And like, I forget the beginning too, when he's taking all that stuff from the poker party.
Mhm.
And I saw like, it was a silly joke. I was like, why is he taking like a lit candle? Like that's something dumb that Homer would do. But the fact that it comes in handy for the labor, I thought, that's pretty smart.
Also, I do like the joke about, do you have a cell phone? Of course I have a cell phone. Everyone does. Mine's at home.
So Homer, I think in this episode is probably the MVJ, but yeah, I think Elevator Guy definitely up there. What did you think of the episode altogether?
Well, the main plot is a little tired. I mean, I think that the trope of the person pregnant in the elevator or in the cab or whatever is, it's been used quite a bit. And I think that I like the fact that, they started with that and moved on from there. But I really feel like the motivations of all the characters felt really inorganic, like Homer keeping the poker game from Marge being kind of like indifferent towards him, possibly cheating on her, Lisa going to the football game and pretending to like football, and also the way that she treated the cheerleaders seemed a little condescending. This episode didn't do much for me. I will say I really enjoyed the Itchy and Scratchy cartoon. I thought that the Cats and Cradle stuff was fun. I like him being a supportive dad to Scratchy for all those years, only to have him blow up. I think it's a skip for me. It didn't quite hit. Some of the jokes were funny, but the characters didn't seem like themselves, and I just felt like it felt a little flat. I do appreciate that you pointed out the dual use of the term labor pains. I think that was well executed, but ultimately this is just not a favorite episode of mine. But I will say that I just finished watching the series Mad Men, which features Elizabeth Moss, who did a fine job in this episode. I have no complaints about her. But she starred in all 92 episodes of Mad Men. So if I had to give this a numerical rating, I would say that this gives let's say a 48 out of 92. What do you think, Craig?
48 is the only number of states I recognize in the United States. Which I guess which two I don't like.
Take that, Missouri.
It's actually Washington and Oregon. I don't want us to be part of America.
That's fair. I'll join you on that.
Yeah, I think my feelings were kind of discussed. I like some of the silly things like you just brought up about how Lisa seems not herself, like going to the football game with Milhouse. Like, why didn't she just say that Janie or something like that? Making it Milhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you get the Milhouse trashing jokes. Heck, even if it's like Nelson or Ralph, I don't know, just her hanging out with Milhouse just seems wrong. I know they're supposed to hang out in the future when like they're in high school because, they have sex. And I'm not making a joke, but it's canon or future canon that they share bodily fluids. It's such a silly sitcom. Like this script could be not you could give this to a Family Ties or something,
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see an episode where Stephen Keaton is like working late at the PBS and gives birth to one of the I don't know. It's just kind of a tired trope of the baby thing, and I guess maybe they're trying to say like Homer is a better father to this kid. Maybe the connection that because he was there when his kids were born. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's one of those things like if it's like not his kid, he's not responsible. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they even covered this like in a later or more recent episode where they're talking about how like Homer kind of wants to be a dad again. And I feel like we reviewed that in like a recent episode, and that was like a lot more earnest where he enjoys being a parent to a toddler and he misses that. And if they like kind of express that more blatantly, that would have been something. But yeah, this just feels like none of it feels earned.
And Marge is just kind of annoyed, like not a Marge-esque character. Like she thinks that him playing poker, again, it just seems like an old school sitcom writer's trope. And you're right. I wasn't that much of a fan of this episode. But the things I did like you mentioned, I like how they brought in birth labor and then labor money-making labor. And so there is some clever little things in here, but all in all, you're right. It's a skip for me. And if I had to give this a ranking, Steve, according to the Guinness World Record, the longest labor was set by Joanne Krzenstoke. I don't know how to say it. And her labor lasted for 75 days.
Whoa.
When she finally gave birth to twin boys in Poland. And one of those Polish twins grew up to steal a hat from a kid at a tennis match. And that's why you should never be in labor for 75 days.
That's right. Timely.
So, out of 75 days, I'm going to give this episode a fortnight.
Ooh.
Which I believe is 14 days, right?
Yes, it's a great game, I think. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Hey, we are actually living up to our name. We are the Annoyed Grunt Boys. And this episode gave us a grunt of annoyance.
That's right.
But will next week's give us an annoying grunt? I'm going to say, who knows? So to find out, we're going to have to use the old wheel of random.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this week I've disconnected his audio voice activation controls.
Good, because Will Random kind of a dick.
Yeah, and, very problematic.
Yeah.
So why don't we give that wheel a good old spin to see what season we're watching? All right, Steve, we have season 29.
Ooh, season 29.
Let's go see what episode we're going to watch.
All right.
I'll have you know it's not episode 5. I think the last 2 episodes.
I was going to say that, yeah.
The 5th episode. Steve, is actually the episode that we can legally fuck.
14?
No, Steve, not the Republicans.
Oh, okay.
It's episode 18.
Ah, that's better.
Season 29, episode 14. Steve, what do you think the title is?
Well, this week's episode was called Labor Pains. So, probably be related, I would assume.
Of course, it always is.
I'm going to say working hard or hardly twerking.
You're about to say hardly kirking, which I think is already an episode.
You were exactly right, but let's move on from that.
I think you're wrong, and you always will be wrong in my eye. Just one of my eyes, not my eyes, just an eye. See, the episode actually is called Forgive and Regret.
Forgive and regret.
Sounds like a fun plot. What do you think that plot would be?
Well, I think that in the A plot, Homer misses out on Lisa's saxophone recital, and she cannot forgive him, and so they have a big argument, and Homer has to, make it up to her somehow. In the B plot, Bart dyes his hair blue to be more like his mother, but then gets made fun of it being called a Smurf, even though that's not the way Smurf's hair works. Kids are dumb. And he regrets it, but it all comes together when his hair dye gets on Lisa's hair, and she becomes blue-haired, which makes her cool among the punk kids that came into town, and she forgives Homer, because there's nothing more punk rock than forgiveness.
Okay, Superman.
That's right.
Very convoluted. I would like to say I like it, so I can't because that's not right.
I was inspired by this week's episode to be convoluted.
Actually, Steve, Grandpa makes a confession on his deathbed. Oh, no, this is the episode where they killed Grandpa?
I'm sure he's still alive. He went golfing today.
That's very timely. Telling Homer about lost notes from his mother. So when Grandpa recovers, he realizes the issue won't be easily resolved. That's very cryptic, Steve. I have no idea what this means.
Me neither. I have no recollection of this episode whatsoever.
Would you know it was written by Bobby's brother, Bill Odenkirk?
Oh.
Original air date, April 29th, 2018. So there we go. All right. Wow. That doesn't seem that long ago, but, it was season 29. I think we're coming up on season 59 right now.
That sounds about right.
Well, thanks again, everyone, for listening. And do us a big favor and contact us on email at 13simpsons@gmail.com. Or you can meet us on socials like Instagram or YouTube at 138simpsons.
And hey, go to patreon.com/annoyedgruntboys and sign up for our bonus material. We release an episode every week and another bonus episode every month. So that's 5 episodes a month. We cover all kinds of topics. It's a lot of fun. It's like this, but even better. So please sign up today.
Yeah, this Labor Day, we dropped our first review of King of the Hill, Season 1, Episode 1.
And that episode ain't right.
But our review sure is.
Much like protein and propane accessories.
And it won't kick your ass. Hey, check out our TeePublic site, tpublic.com/user/gruntboys for your TeePublic merchandise that has our logo on it.
Yes. And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcasting app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, and leave a review, but don't write a real review. Just tell us where you left your cell phone.
All right, for this week, I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Steve.
And remember, I just see little people I own.
If this is heaven, why don't my shoes match?
Why, that's Samuel Gompers talk.